You know, there has been something that has been bothering me about this country for the last few years, and that is the sheer mind-boggling apathy that seems to have enveloped my fellow Englishmen like some dreary, inescapable fog. It's not just that we've lost the knack for caring about each other. No, it's far worse. We've lost the will to fight back against the tyranny that's crashing into our lives like a rhino driving a bulldozer. We've become a nation of spectators, just sitting back, allowing the destruction to happen, freely allowing the tyranny to take hold. Lockdowns came and went, and they will likely return without any protest. Mass immigration, once a topic of heated debate, now flows like the Thames, unremarked upon, as if it were just another daily tide. Crime rates have soared, but the collective response has been as dynamic as a sleeping bulldog. Keir Starmer, with his polished legal credentials, excessive use of hairstyling products and knighthood, seems to view the majority of people in this country with the same condescension one might reserve for a diseased sewer rat. Starmer wishes the working class who question his ideology to vanish into the mists of history, much like the petrol cars he'd like to see replaced by more environmentally friendly options. And as for the green energy plans, which seem as grounded in reality as a Monty Python sketch, we are told that the sun is hot in Africa, therefore the people of England need to pay increased, crippling taxes to save polar bears. So why have we given up? Why do so many of us do nothing about our way of lives being changed? Have we become deaf and blind, as well as stupid? Is the whole country asleep? The silence is deafening, the inaction palpable. It's as if we're all waiting for someone else to step up, to lead the charge, to voice the outrage we feel, but can't muster the energy to express. Perhaps it's the erosion of community, the fragmentation of our once tight-knit society into isolated bubbles where outrage is expressed only in the safety of echo chambers. Or maybe it's the overwhelming sense of inevitability, the belief that change is beyond our control, that the powers that be are too entrenched, too powerful. We've become spectators in our own lives, watching the narrative unfold, too comfortable in our own inertia to challenge the status quo. However, my theory is that this modern-day apathy, this tendency to bury our heads in the sand, is all by design, all intended, all orchestrated by those that rule us. I believe we are being engineered for passivity, for complacency, and for lethargy. It is as though the people running the show want us to be mindless automatons. You see, we're all tangled up in this web, aren't we? A web woven from antidepressants, booze, and the endless scroll of TikTok and reality TV. People become addicted to these things because it's easier than facing the mess outside their windows. All this distraction, this sensory numbing, it's all by design. The people running the country are the pushers, who have turned us into a nation of addicts. We're so caught up in our little digital and chemical bubbles, we've forgotten that at one time in the past we were not sleepwalking zombies. We were once people that could challenge narratives and challenge our leaders. Let's talk about those antidepressants first, shall we? They're supposed to make you happier, right? But they've also turned people into a bunch of compliant sheep, grazing on the pasture of passivity. I've seen it with my own eyes. Friends of mine who used to be passionate about life, now they're just existing, waiting for their next prescription and their next sick note. Barely awake, barely alive in their chemical cocoons. They don't notice or care about the slow theft of our rights. They can't see the erosion of our communities. It's like watching someone turn their passion for life into a flat line on an ECG, all because they're too busy being chemically hypnotized to be politically awake. And then there's alcohol, our old friend. The pubs are vanishing quicker than a politician's promise, but the off-licenses are brimming with cheap lager and cider. We're drowning our potential for outrage in pints, turning our sharpest critiques into slurred, meaningless babble. It's no accident, is it? The government keeps the rivers of booze flowing because drunk people are too busy trying to stand up straight to notice the chains wrapping around their freedoms. And then we have the endless cycle of social media influencers. We're living through others' adventures, our own stories left untold, our voices silenced by the trinkets on our screens. It's like we're all extras in someone else's show, our own lives on hold. We cheer for some muscular kickboxer driving a Bugatti, or some Botox-faced woman miming to rap music, while we should be raising our voices against laws chipping away at our privacy, our autonomy. It's not just entertainment, it's a cultural lobotomy, making us dream of court jesters and clowns, when we should be dreaming of solutions. And then, the mobile phones. They've turned us into digital hermits, haven't they? Each of us, faces buried in screens, living life through likes and swipes, rather than actual human interaction. Our attention spans are now shorter than a goldfish's memory, our ability to focus obliterated by the next ping or buzz. It's no coincidence that our capacity for sustained protest or deep thought about our governance has gone down the drain as our screen time has skyrocketed. We're more connected to our gadgets than to the concept of democracy. As I said before, all of this is by design. The powers that be, they've got it all figured out. Keep the masses entertained, medicated, inebriated, distracted, and you can sneak control in as easily as slipping an extra shot into someone's drink. We're so wrapped up in our petty pleasures and minor grievances that we miss the big picture. Our democracy being quietly disassembled, our freedoms bartered for a bit of comfort. It's a slow, insidious process, and by the time we notice, the chains might be too rusty to break. However, it's not just about blaming the system. We've played our part too, haven't we? We've willingly surrendered our time, our attention to these distractions. We've taken the easy way out, the path of least resistance. Because let's face it, it's comfy. It's what society nudges us towards. We've become our own sedatives, finding peace in the glow of our screens, the warmth of our drinks, the calm of our pills, rather than a face up to the turmoil and reality of life. Sooner or later, this apathy, this carefully crafted plan to keep us docile, will be our legacy, and what a pathetic one it'll be. Perhaps there's still time to reclaim our voices, our agency, and start dancing to a new tune, one where we're not just passive viewers, but active creators of our future. If we don't, the future we're sleepwalking into will be one of chains, not choices, all in the guise of comfort. For if this apathy is indeed by design, then our wakefulness, our resistance, our action must be by choice.